Hey guys, what's going on? In this video, I thought we could make it, really simple and put the car back the way it was, make it standard, and hang on, 2 seconds, sorry. Hello? Yeah? No, I mean what I said. 50 upshifts in one scene is way too much. The car's only got 5 gears. Do you know how fatiguing it is on your arm? Yeah, 5 gears, 50. I'm driving in a straight line. It's a race in a straight line. No, I know. I don't care if Vin Diesel said he'll do it. Have you seen the size of that guy's arm? It's huge. No wonder he can shift 50 times. It is exhausting. Yeah? Okay, maybe I don't want the part in the film. Find someone else then. Fine. Sorry. Right. Obviously, gonna have to change plan. Today, what we're gonna do, in reality, is reduce this throw here, make our own short shifter from scratch. Interesting way of doing that in the title, as you saw. So we'll get to that later. The other thing is, clearly, this is just a gargantuan gap. So what we're going to do is reduce that. We're going to jack this up a bit, not too much. There's some shifter cables there, which at the moment I don't have the time to reroute somewhere else through the bulkhead. So this is coming up as much as they'll allow to reduce that gap. That is going to be as race car as we can get. So I think without further ado, let's get in the garage and crack on. So worthy of note here, try to use a 3D printed dimple die to dimple die the holes, speed holes that I put in the side of this tower. The holes are actually about 3mm too big, which when you're trying to dimple something like this, not ideal. It didn't work great. I only tried it on these 3 holes and then left it for the rest. But if people are interested in seeing that kind of content, 3D printing, tooling, experimental stuff like that, let me know and we can have a look at maybe doing some videos based around that kind of content as well as the car stuff. Anyway, this is it. It looks pretty sweet. So I'm going to weld it up now. I'm going to tack it and then I'm going to actually test fit it and then I'm going to put it hopefully in the car. I need to put, once done this, I need to bend up the bits to go in here and that'll give it a load of strength. Drill some holes, mount it in, and that'll be a good day's work, a good Sunday's work. As you can see, this took bloody ages to do. It's pretty complex. I'm making it with my full ghetto angle built vice thingy and the only panel beating esque hammer I own. So profesh, man. The whole thing took about a day all in, which is bleak. Watching it back in 30 seconds after I cut most of it because ultimately it becomes a snooze fest. It does turn out pretty sweet in the end though, so keep watching. Please. Right, so here it is, guys, it's finished. My shifter tower extension. Right, so what I've done is, after sort of offering it up in the car and cutting all these out, you see the funky bends. Look at all those funky bends and angles and all sorts that I had to do. Anywho, it does now fit in the car, and I added this piece here, which wasn't, you can see, originally this just had the speed holes in it, and now it actually takes the shifter cable. Christ, the weather is terrible. If you live in the UK, you will realise that it's not May at the moment, it's like 70-mile-an-hour winds. Anyway, when we extend the shifter to make the short shift, it's going to drop the cable even more, put that extreme angle on it. So it's mounting in there now. We're not going to fit this yet, we're going to do the short shift next. So without further ado, what I'm going to go and do is whip the shifter off the car. You don't need to see that. Bring it in here, and then we'll give it a rundown of what we're going to do. By the power of YouTube, we now have this out of the car. We're going to pop this out of there. I'm pretty sure it comes out the top. Going to do a little choppy of that. Going to do a little machiny of that. I'm going to do a little extendy. So without further ado, let's pop it apart. Right, finally got it out. It was a bit of a bugger. I was a bit scared I was going to crack the plastic housing, but I didn't, and it's here. So what we're going to do is we're going to slice this right about there, and then I'm going to make a sleeve which has the same ID as this has OD. We're going to extend it. Don't know how much by just yet, but a bit. Make it a bit longer. That way, as you move it in the ball joint like that, as you move back and forth, the longer that is, the less distance you have to move the top for it to shift at the bottom. Makes sense in my head. Probably didn't explain it very well. Don't know, like draw it if you don't get it. Simples. So I think the first thing we need to do is find the piece of metal I'm going to make this with. And it's here. M24 bolt. That will turn down just a wee bit, and we'll make our sleeve. So we need to get this holdable in my lathe, and what we're going to do is going to turn on the oh, there she goes, look at that. Oh, there we go, gotta go in smooth, and time to start turning. And there we have it, the freshly turned piece, made from one bolt. It's a bit long at the moment, probably going to cut it down a bit, but I bet it fits on there beautifully because I used premium tooling. Ready? Oh yeah, just a little wobble, which is perfect. So next we must cut this down, which is a bit scary, and then we'll crack on. So let's do it. There we go, chopped. I believe that there is another small-time YouTube channel that has that as their little sort of slogan-y thing. I've realised that what I wrote in my notes before I made this was measure the throw on the shifter. Didn't do that. So when this inevitably gets shorter, maybe too short, you're just going to have to trust me. Just had a terrible thought where I thought that maybe the maneuver sleeve wasn't going to fit through the hole when I put the shifter back together, but so we good. If anyone's wondering why I'm in a particularly good mood today and not my usual monotonous self, it's because it's Friday, which can mean that's exceptionally long. That's what she said. It's Friday, which means that I get to have a certain kind of beverage. That beautiful. Actually, when I say beautiful, not gonna lie, that ain't bad welding, is it? For me, that's not bad. Especially that. That's it. So, put it all in the car and have a look. You know, like wiggle it around a bit. Probably not going to drive it because the weather's rubbish. But let's do it. So here we go. Look at that. It's bloody short, it's got to be said. Is it too short? I don't think so. But we shall find out. I'm going to stop doing that now. But yeah, as you can see, bloody handbrake's in the way. Don't really want to take that off or I'll roll straight into my garage. Bit of wiring to tidy up. But all jacked up off the floor a wee bit. And I had to do that for the clearance in here. Because this has grown so much. Had to do that. Yeah, like I said, I never measured it before because I'm an idiot. But that is significantly shorter. There was obviously video footage of it, I think, at the beginning. And that's so much shorter. It's pretty cool. Kind of always wanted a car with a short shift and now I've got one. So that's about it really for this vid. I lied. That wasn't the end of the video. This is the end of the video. Thought I'd do a quick summary. I recorded this footage. It's really boring. The audio didn't work, so I'm voiceovering it. How does it feel? It feels really good. Obviously, we've changed the leverage ratios to make it shorter. By doing that, we've increased the pressure required to shift. It actually feels really nice at this pressure. It gives you a really positive shift, a nice sort of notchy feeling, and the fact that we didn't change the throw side to side, coupled with that, means I don't think there's really any increased risk of misshifting, which probably is the case with a lot of short shift kits. This applies to almost all front wheel drive cars, especially anyone's, they nearly all use cables to shift. So give it a go. I think it's really worthwhile doing. It costs virtually nothing if you have the kit around. You don't need a lathe. You could buy some pipe with the right ID off the shelf and cut it and weld it to suit with a MIG. Be safe when you do it. Have fun. That's what this is all about. I appreciate this content, maybe not the most interesting. It's just me sat at a bench and kind of voiceovering what I'm doing. So let me know how that comes out, how you feel about it. If you want to see more of the more basic stuff, which is probably more interesting to watch, me crawling around on the floor, hating life, versus in a dingy garage with the rain hammering down outside. Until next time, give us a like, give us a comment, give us a subscribe if you fancy it.